Before we start the video, please don't be a Baka and subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. I will assure you your little effort will help me a lot. Now back to the video. The story begins with the protagonist, Gerard, who has a strong desire to pursue a career in science, but his mother insists he become a shaman due to his supposed spiritual qualities. Despite his resistance, his mother persists, claiming he is destined to be a shaman. Gerard's frustration grows as he studies hard to achieve his own goals while being pressured to follow his mother's guidance. Tragedy strikes when Gerard dies in a car accident but surprisingly finds himself alive in a new world where magic and science coexist. He is reborn in this world and becomes a teacher at a magic academy, a prestigious institution where aspiring wizards study. Gerard, now living as a teacher named Gerard, boards a magical engineering train heading to the Exilian Empire, the most powerful nation where magic and machinery intertwine. Along the way, he encounters a fellow passenger named Roger Kelisai, who is a fallen noble and also a teacher at Thean Academy, the Empire's renowned magic school. The two engage in conversation, discussing rumors of a wandering mercenary named Machiavelli who played a pivotal role in ending a civil war in the Utah Kingdom. Gerard's past as Machiavelli is known only to him, and he keeps this a secret. Amidst their conversation, a sudden explosion rocks the train, throwing everything into chaos. Gerard senses danger and immediately realizes that the attack is not a simple robbery. He suspects the involvement of a wizard due to the magical nature of the explosion. The attackers appear to have targeted the first-class car, number 1, where nobles are seated, leaving Gerard and Roger in a relatively safer spot in the fourth car. As they consider their options, Gerard and Roger notice a man entering their corridor. The man's demeanor is filled with anger and hatred, which seems out of place for a regular robber. Before Gerard can voice his doubts, Roger quickly casts a lightning spell, incapacitating the intruder. Roger decides to interrogate the fallen attacker to uncover the motive behind the attack. However, the situation takes a dark turn as the injured attacker reveals a bomb hidden under his shirt. Roger's shock and realization come too late as the attacker triggers the detonator, causing a massive explosion that engulfs the fourth car. Amid the chaos caused by the explosion and subsequent attack, Gerard remains on high alert, ready to face the assailants. He quickly realizes that the conductor, who appears nervous and panicked, is actually one of the attackers. Gerard confronts him, deducing that there must be an inside collaborator responsible for the well-coordinated attack on the magic train. As Gerard questions the conductor, shots ring out from vehicle number 5, leading to the death of the conductor. Gerard uses his intuition and acute hearing to anticipate the attack and protect himself. However, more attackers emerge, and Gerard is faced with a continuous stream of adversaries. He skillfully uses his magical abilities to counter their threats, revealing his own prowess as a wizard. Despite his efforts, the attackers are determined to eliminate him, and he's aware that the odds are against him as their numbers increase. Gerard realizes that he must hold out until reinforcements arrive, and he mentally prepares himself for a relentless battle. As the intense conflict continues, Gerard successfully executes a strategic plan to eliminate the terrorists who attack the train. Using his clever tactics, he lures the attackers into a trap, isolating them and ultimately defeating them. Gerard's resourcefulness and ability to adapt to the changing situation allow him to gain the upper hand despite being outnumbered and facing powerful opponents. However, the situation takes an unexpected turn as a new group of knights arrives on the scene, representing the border guard knights responsible for protecting the empire. These knights intervene to address the remaining threats and ensure the safety of the train and its passengers. Gerard, though initially relieved by the assistance, is left with unanswered questions about his attackers and their motivations. As the situation intensifies, Gerard finds himself in a precarious position due to his false identity and the unexpected turn of events. The police officers are investigating the survivors to verify their identities and involvement in the attack. Gerard's biggest concern is that his current appearance does not match the description of Gerard, the man in his 40s, listed on the passenger manifest. With the police closing in, he must come up with a way to avoid suspicion and escape the trap closing in on him. However, Veronica, the cold steel knight, unexpectedly intervenes to defend Gerard. She confirms his innocence by vouching for his actions during the terrorist attack. Gerard's brave confrontation with the terrorists before the arrival of the Cold Steel Knights plays a pivotal role in convincing the police of his innocence. If you want to read this manhwa, you can read it on the sponsor of this video, the mangaexpert.com website. The link will be in the description. Feel free to check it out. Now let's resume the video. The police officer recognizes Gerard from the manifest as Roger Kelisai, a new teacher assigned to Thean Academy. This revelation shocks Gerard, and he quickly decides to adopt this new identity, claiming that he is indeed Roger Kelisai. This turn of events introduces an unexpected opportunity for Gerard to evade suspicion and potentially escape further scrutiny. However, it also puts him on a different path, one that involves assuming the role of Roger Kelisai, a teacher at Thean Academy. The story takes an intriguing direction as Gerard navigates the complexities of this new identity, all while attempting to unravel the mysteries surrounding the attack on the train and the true motivations of the terrorists. Gerard, now assuming the identity of Roger Kelisai, has been brought to Thean Academy by Wilford. As he enters the grand campus and experiences the breathtaking architecture and magical ambience, he's confronted with the reality of his new situation. The academy is even more impressive on the inside, with a blend of magical elegance and refined aesthetics. Upon his arrival, Gerard is guided to the president's office by Wilford. The president, a powerful wizard and leader of the academy, greets him. Gerard's observation of her striking appearance and golden eyes sparks a curious sensation within him, but he swiftly focuses on the situation at hand. He introduces himself as Roger Kelisai, adhering to his new persona. Thean Academy's president, likely an accomplished 8th-rank wizard, immediately engages Gerard in conversation. The encounter raises intriguing questions about Gerard's future in the academy and the mysteries that surround him. Gerard must navigate this unfamiliar terrain, aware that his false identity, his past actions, and his own abilities could significantly shape his destiny. Gerard, now assuming the identity of Roger Kelisai, has discovered that the suitcase containing his belongings is secured with a security magic circle. He manages to outsmart the magic by heating the metal lock, causing it to expand, and then cooling it rapidly with a wet towel, causing the metal to contract and the magic circle to misalign. Gerard then uses his own magic to destroy the core of the magic circle, rendering it ineffective. After successfully opening the suitcase, Gerard checks its contents and appears to be surprised or intrigued by something he finds inside. In a shocking turn of events, Gerard discovers that the identity of Roger Kelisai, which he had assumed to start a new life, is actually that of a high-ranking member of a secret organization hidden within Thean Academy. This organization is involved in covert activities, including assassinations, espionage, and more. Gerard realizes that the letters he found in Roger's suitcase were not ordinary correspondence, but rather contained encoded messages and passphrase used by this secret organization. Gerard's anxiety and suspicions about the secretive nature of Roger's life are validated as he unravels the truth. The revelation that Roger was an executive member of this organization, referred to as the First Order, and that Gerard has inadvertently taken on his identity is a bombshell that leaves Gerard feeling overwhelmed. With this new knowledge, Gerard is faced with a dangerous dilemma. He now inhabits a persona that comes with significant responsibilities and risks, and he must navigate the intricate web of secrecy, deceit, and power that surrounds the identity of Roger Kelisai. On the first day of the new semester at Thean Academy, anticipation and curiosity fill the air as students return to school. The students are categorized into different classes based on their social status, creating divisions within the academy. The upper class consists of nobles, the middle class is made up of wealthy merchants, and the lower class is comprised of commoners. Rumors about a new teacher have started circulating among the students. The teacher is said to be handling a class on the theory of the manifestation system and elemental understanding. Speculations about his skills and qualifications buzz through the conversations. One student mentions that the new teacher is a fallen aristocrat, which elicits chuckles and amusement from those who hear it. Fallen nobles hold a lower status than they once did, and this information leads some students to believe that the class might be easy or less demanding. As the students discuss the new teacher, the classroom's attention is suddenly drawn to the entrance as the door opens. A man walks in, and all eyes are on him. The atmosphere in the room becomes charged with curiosity and expectation as the students wait to see who their new teacher is. The new teacher, Roger Kelisai, enters the classroom with a calm and composed demeanor, capturing the students' attention. His appearance and presence command respect and curiosity. As he introduces himself and outlines his class, the students are both awed and intrigued by his authoritative aura. Roger explains that his class will not solely focus on theoretical aspects but will instead emphasize practical applications. He reveals that first-year students can also attend his class, creating a joint class for both years. He subtly warns against underestimating the class's difficulty, effectively dissuading some students from attending. A blonde girl raises her hand to question the presence of first-year students in the class, prompting Roger to provide a diplomatic response. He asserts that his approach to teaching is about equality and fairness, not bound by grade levels. After the orientation, Roger reflects on the students' reactions and their unasked questions. He considers the possibility that the students might be deliberately avoiding questions to observe him, potentially a tactic of these bright-minded students. Roger's thoughts shift towards the challenge of establishing authority while being himself. He contemplates the best way to handle his upcoming class, aware that he must strike a balance between firmness and approachability. As Roger leaves the classroom, students part to make way for him, seemingly influenced by the rumors and anticipation about the new teacher. Just as he wonders about this, a woman named Selena approaches him. She introduces herself as a fellow new teacher at Thean Academy and asks if he has eaten, catching him off guard. Selena, a new teacher at Thean Academy, is filled with nervousness and self-doubt as she joins the prestigious institution to teach spirit summoning. The academy is known for its exceptional students, including nobles and potentially even royal family members. Selena hopes to make friends with her fellow new teachers to ease her worries and share the experience. She approaches Roger Kelisai, a former military officer, fallen noble, and new teacher who exudes a regal presence. Roger's demeanor is both imposing and refined, and he treats everyone with respect regardless of their background. Selena is intrigued by Roger's charisma and aims to learn from his approach to teaching. As the new teachers gather for a meal, Roger, Selena, and other colleagues discuss their roles at the academy. It becomes clear that Roger's position as a fallen noble sets him apart from the other commoner and noble teachers. Despite the differences, Selena admires Roger's ability to navigate the dynamics at play. The day of Roger's first class arrives, and he enters the classroom with anticipation. However, he is taken aback by the large number of students present. The classroom is filled to its maximum capacity, contrary to his expectations of having a smaller, more manageable class size. Roger wonders why so many students have chosen his class despite the warnings he gave during orientation. Flora, known as the little demon among the teachers for her habit of challenging their authority and outshining them, is intrigued by Roger Kelisai, the new teacher at Thean Academy. She expresses her skepticism to her friend Cheryl about Roger's ability to teach all 4 specializations of the manifestation system. Flora finds it difficult to believe that someone so young could master such a diverse range of magical specializations. As Roger begins his class, he demonstrates his expertise by effortlessly casting a complex third-tier flame elemental spell. He explains the underlying principles of magic, highlighting the complementary nature of 6 elemental components: heating, combustion, compression, acceleration, expansion, and diffusion. Roger engages the students by promising to teach them a faster method of casting spells, capturing their interest and curiosity. Flora, despite her skepticism, can't help but be intrigued by Roger's confident and knowledgeable approach to teaching. She has a reputation for challenging teachers, but she may have met her match in Roger. As the class continues, students become more curious about Roger's unique teaching methods and whether he truly possesses the expertise he claims to have across multiple specializations. With the tense moment involving Flora passing, Roger continues with his class, transitioning into the actual lesson content. The students, still processing the astonishing revelation of source code and the interactions with Flora, shift their focus back to the lesson. Roger begins by explaining the basics of magic manifestation and the factors that influence the casting time of spells. He covers the significance of each step in the process, the precision required for successful magic execution, and how wizards typically develop their proficiency over time. The class delves into the various techniques that can be employed to improve casting speed, discussing methods that involve altering magical concentration, movement, and incantations. Throughout the lesson, Roger keeps the students engaged by asking questions, encouraging discussions, and presenting hypothetical scenarios that challenge their understanding. The atmosphere in the classroom, while initially tense due to the source code revelation, becomes more interactive and lively as the students actively participate in the discussion. As the class progresses, Roger introduces practical exercises for the students to work on. These exercises involve refining their magical concentration, gesture precision, and incantation articulation. Roger gives personalized feedback and advice to each student, guiding them on how to make subtle adjustments to improve their casting speed without compromising the integrity of the spell. By the end of the class, the students are visibly more absorbed in the subject matter. The initial shock of source code has transformed into curiosity and determination to grasp the nuances of spellcasting. Even Flora, who experienced a setback earlier, is participating actively, her competitive spirit rekindled. Roger concludes the lesson with a reminder that achieving mastery in spellcasting is a journey that requires consistent effort and dedication. He emphasizes that while shortcuts like source code can be useful, they shouldn't replace the traditional methods of learning and practicing magic. As the students leave the classroom, they are left with a mix of emotions: awe at the possibilities of magic, a determination to improve, and the lingering curiosity about Roger's true background. The opening day of Roger's class has left an indelible mark on their minds, setting the stage for an eventful and transformative semester. Roger concludes his first class without any major issues, relieved that he managed to teach smoothly and maintain a low profile. He plans to teach a selected group of students the source code, hinting at the revolutionary magic he introduced. As the students leave the classroom, Aiden, a freshman, reflects on how amazing the class was and appreciates Roger's teaching. However, a confrontation unfolds between Aiden and Javon Pelio, a noble student, with Leo, another student, stepping in to defuse the situation. Leo advises Aiden on the dynamics within the academy and the influential students to be cautious of, such as Flora Lumos, Princess Arandira von Exilian, and Fruden Ulberg. Aiden and Leo decide to eat together, unaware that they are being observed by someone else. Meanwhile, Roger arrives at his private classroom, only to find the president of Thean Academy inside. This unexpected encounter raises questions about the academy's intentions and the role Roger might play in its hierarchy. Despite his surprise, he maintains a composed demeanor and engages in a conversation with her. The president commends him on his successful first class and emphasizes her support for his teaching methods that bridge the gap between first-year and second-year students. However, Roger remains cautious and tries to uncover the true purpose of her visit. While conversing, Roger reflects on the president's unique magical eyes, which have a captivating effect on others. He ponders whether she suspects him of being involved in the secret society hidden within Thean Academy. The president questions Wilford, her trusted associate, about his impressions of Roger. Wilford's assessment suggests that Roger is not immediately suspicious, but the president remains vigilant due to the complexity of the situation. After the president's departure, Roger contemplates the students attending his class. He notices Arandira von Exilian, a princess, among his students, and worries about the potential consequences of her involvement in any incidents. He also observes other standout students, including Flora Lumos and a commoner named Aiden. There's something about Aiden that catches his attention, although he's unsure what it is. In the magic training ground, Roger is assigned to patrol duty as part of the president's new policy to prevent problems among the students. As he roams the area, he comes across a heated altercation between two girls. One of the girls is about to unleash a dangerous second-level spell, Burning Thunder, upon the other. Roger immediately intervenes, casting his own spell, Shining Stone, to disrupt the girl's magic and prevent a potentially lethal situation. The disrupted student glares at Roger, demanding to know who he is. Roger introduces himself as a teacher and lectures them about the dangers of using magic recklessly. The girl, whose name is Agnes, remains defiant and disapproving of Roger's intervention. The other girl, Arandira von Exilian, acknowledges Roger's help and expresses her gratitude. Agnes questions Arandira's relationship with Roger, hinting at some tension between the two girls. Roger clarifies that he's their teacher and insists on maintaining discipline. He orders Agnes to go back to her dormitory and reflects on the importance of keeping a close watch on the students to prevent such incidents. After the encounter, Roger continues his patrol and is relieved that he managed to avert a crisis. However, he remains wary of the tensions among the students and the potential for trouble, especially considering the recent changes in the Academy's policies and the presence of the secret society. Roger's intervention has defused the tense situation at the training ground. Dunama's reckless attempt to cast a spell is met with Roger's swift action, as he neutralizes the magic and prevents any harm. Roger scolds Dunama and the others involved for their irresponsible behavior and lack of understanding of Theon's principles of equality among students. As Dunama realizes the severity of her actions and the potential consequences, she mutters a derogatory remark about Roger's status as a fallen noble. This draws Roger's attention, and he approaches her with an intense and intimidating aura. Selena arrives at the scene, trying to prevent any escalation, but she witnesses Roger handling the situation calmly. Surprisingly, Roger admits to being a fallen noble but emphasizes that his role as a teacher at Theon demands respect and authority from the students. He acknowledges Dunama's ignorance and gives her a stern warning about challenging teacher authority. Roger's composed response and disciplined approach astonish the students, including Dunama and Renee. He ensures that Renee is unharmed and instructs Selena to address the matter. Roger then leaves the scene, leaving behind a sense of awe and silence among the students. He reflects on the incident, acknowledging that his response could have been better worded but that he had to address Dunama's disrespectful behavior. He contemplates how the students' attitudes towards authority can be influenced by their backgrounds and societal norms. Despite his fearsome appearance, Roger is relieved that he managed to handle the situation without further complications. Renee and Selena discuss the incident, Dunama's behavior, and Roger's response. They also touch on the unequal treatment of nobles and commoners at Theon. Renee is intrigued by Roger's unwavering commitment to equality and recalls his words about everyone being equal at Theon. She reflects on her initial impression of him as a scary teacher and the gradual change in her perception. Renee then hears rumors of a werewolf circulating around Theon. Roger roams the city of Leathervelk, reflecting on its advanced engineering, bustling commerce, and the vitality of its residents. He notes the stark contrast between different districts of the city and observes the elegance of the wealthier area, Center Pod, where he enjoys coffee in a quiet cafe. He continues his exploration, reaching the bustling Grand Chapel downtown area. Roger waits in the mist-filled alley, but his tranquility is disrupted when he senses an eerie presence. A pair of red eyes emerges from the darkness, and before he knows it, the being lunges at him. Roger reacts quickly, delivering a forceful blow to the creature's head. He chastises the being for being late and reveals that it's his acquaintance, Hans. It's then revealed that Hans was responsible for spreading the werewolf rumors among the students. The revelation of Hans and Roger's encounter continues as they discuss Roger's new identity as Roger Kelisai. Hans questions why they aren't meeting in the capital as originally planned, and Roger explains that there have been changes in his circumstances. The conversation turns to Hans' unique condition, which causes him to transform into animals when bitten. In his current form, he resembles a wolf-like creature, but his transformations can be triggered by various animals. They discuss Hans' recent encounter with a Pomeranian that bit him, causing him to temporarily transform into a smaller creature. They also delve into the recent emergence of an organization called the Black Dawn and its ranking system. Hans mentions that he's heard about it recently and explains how some powerful individuals have been joining it. Roger takes out an injection ampoule containing a green reagent, which helps Hans revert to his human form. They discuss Roger's situation and the risks he faces due to his new identity and association with the First Order. They also touch on Roger's plans for the future and the need to address the Black Dawn. The conversation shifts when Roger mentions the rumors of a werewolf in Leathervelk, which he initially assumed to be Hans. However, both of them realize that neither of them were responsible for the rumored werewolf sightings. Suddenly, they hear a howl and spot a real werewolf in the distance. They decide to leave the area to avoid being recognized by the werewolf. Roger decides to investigate the werewolf further, preparing his equipment and revealing his previous identity as Abraham Van Helsing, a cryptid hunter. 5 years ago, the Durman Kingdom faced a crisis when cryptids suddenly infested the kingdom, terrorizing the people. The situation escalated into what was known as the Bloody Night, during which many cryptids were killed and numerous hunters lost their lives. Among the hunters, there was one remarkable figure who achieved the highest kill count and defeated the most notorious cryptid, the monster that terrorized Javaden, a major city in the Durman Kingdom. This hunter, known as Abraham Van Helsing, became famous for his incredible achievements. Now, in the present day, Roger stands facing a real werewolf, reminiscent of his past as Abraham Van Helsing. He deliberately draws the werewolf's attention to him by kicking a drum to create a noise. The werewolf charges at Roger, who uses his agility to dodge the attacks. Roger also uses a high-frequency magic that affects the werewolf's sensitive hearing, causing discomfort and disorientation. Amidst the confrontation, Roger reminisces about his days as a cryptid hunter and how he used similar tactics to overcome his enemies. The werewolf's attacks become more intense, but Roger remains focused on evasion. Eventually, Roger uses his knowledge of the werewolf's heightened hearing to his advantage and delivers a powerful blow that temporarily incapacitates the creature. As Roger prepares to investigate the werewolf further, a group of police officers arrives on the scene due to the earlier commotion. The werewolf takes advantage of the distraction and manages to escape. Determined not to let it get away, Roger chases the werewolf across the rooftops and onto a passing freight train. The two adversaries face off on top of the moving train, ready for a showdown. Roger uses his weaponry and magic to engage the werewolf, attempting to immobilize and defeat it. The confrontation is intense, with both Roger and the werewolf utilizing their strengths. Roger's precise attacks and use of magical tools showcase his experience and skill as a cryptid hunter. Hans, carrying Roger's suitcase, navigates the dark alleyways to avoid police attention after their encounter with the werewolf. He reminisces about how Roger's sudden appearance almost startled him. As they return, they discuss the artificial creation of the werewolf they encountered, pondering the motives behind its creation. Roger is suspicious that someone deliberately created the werewolf, and he intends to investigate further. Hans and Roger have different roles in their plan. Roger needs to remain low profile due to the president's suspicions and the presence of the Black Dawn secret society. Instead, he tasks Hans with gathering information about the criminal underworld and potential suspects. Roger believes that understanding the organized crime network and identifying potential allies or enemies will be crucial in their mission. Back at the academy, Roger starts preparing for his classes and takes some time to reflect on the recent events. He's determined to develop his own abilities and resources, considering the possibility of unforeseen challenges. He's also intrigued by the mysterious werewolf incident and the involvement of the Black Dawn, but he knows he can't rush into action without proper preparation. As the week begins, Roger goes to work in his private office at the academy. He reads a newspaper article about an unidentified killer in Leathervelk, causing him to question whether he truly eliminated the werewolf or if there are more of them. He also receives a message through a crystal ball, signaling a call from the president. The teachers gather in the conference hall, where the president, Marie Ross, addresses the situation. She informs them about the attacks on students within the academy and the suspected involvement of a werewolf. The meeting takes an unexpected turn as Hugo Bertag, a teacher, suggests that students might be faking the incidents, creating tension among the teachers. Roger realizes that there are factions within Theon, particularly between commoner and aristocratic teachers. This realization highlights the complex dynamics at play within the academy. During the meeting, Roger receives a discreet message warning about 3 escape test subjects related to the werewolf incident. The message also warns about the risk of exposing the sender's identity. Meanwhile, Roger reflects on the information he obtained from Sedina Rosen. He contemplates the situation involving the Shamsus school, the Black Dawn's involvement, and the escaped werewolves. His main focus is on catching the werewolf hidden within Theon before others discover it. Back at Theon Academy, students are abuzz with rumors about the werewolf incident. Some students are excited by the prospect of catching the werewolf to claim a reward, while others are more cautious due to the increased security measures. Aiden, Leo, and Tracy discuss the werewolf rumors and Tracy's challenge for a bet to catch the werewolf first. As Aiden and Leo discuss the situation, they notice Tracy running off towards a dangerous forest the opposite direction of the women's dormitory. They become concerned that something might have happened, given Tracy's impulsive nature. Sedina Rosen reminisces about her meeting with Roger, which left a strong impression on her. She had hoped to break free from her family's reputation by joining the Black Dawn, but even within the organization, her Rosen surname brought disdain and distrust. However, Roger's treatment of her was different. He listened attentively and addressed her respectfully, making her feel valued. She admires Roger and recognizes his qualities, appreciating the recognition she receives from him. Later, Roger is approached by Marquis Hugo Bertag, a noble magician from a declining family. Hugo tries to recruit Roger to a faction of teachers composed of aristocrats, promising support for rebuilding his family in exchange for Roger's loyalty. However, Roger declines, rejecting the idea of treating students differently based on their background. He values equality and does not wish to involve himself in the power struggles of the nobles. Despite Hugo's attempts to sway him, Roger remains firm in his stance. Afterward, Roger continues his patrol and encounters 3 students who are out past curfew. He reprimands them for not following the rules and informs them that they will receive penalty points. Then heads back to continue tracking the werewolf. He identifies footprints and realizes that there might be 2 werewolves within Theon. Renee, a student, is shown studying late in the library and falls asleep. She wakes up and rushes back to her dorm, worried about getting caught and receiving penalty points. She notices movement in the bushes and gets startled. The person who emerges from the darkness is Irender von Exilian, the 3rd princess, who reassures Renee that they're all equal within Theon and that she shouldn't worry about titles. They discuss the werewolf rumors and Irender's role in searching for students. Suddenly, a werewolf appears, surprising both Renee and Irender. Irender prepares to defend themselves, but Roger arrives and uses fire magic to injure the werewolf. Roger's appearance saves them, but he sternly gives both Renee and Irender 5 penalty points for being out at night. Aiden, Leo, and Tracy continue their search for Tracy's friend. They discuss the risks and potential consequences of being caught out after curfew. Leo expresses doubt about Tracy's dedication to finding the werewolf, but Aiden believes she's genuinely committed due to her driven personality. Suddenly, they hear Tracy scream in the distance, prompting them to rush towards the source of the sound. Tracy unexpectedly collides with Aiden as they reach the area of the scream. Aiden is surprised by Tracy's physical contact and tries to figure out why she screamed. As they discuss it, a howl from a beast is heard. Tracy motions for them to follow her quietly, and they discover a basin with a small werewolf inside. The werewolf they find is a baby, not yet fully grown. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching, the Baka Senpai.